Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of the Red Devils Corner Kick podcast, a fan podcast dedicated to Manchester United Football Club. As always, like, subscribe, follow, whether in YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcast, and as well as you can follow on follow me on social media, Instagram, TikTok, and X. Do apologize for the late episode. Had some poor time management today, to say the least, with organizing my Thursday evening, to say that. But I hope everyone's enjoying their week. We're almost near the weekend, almost for another Manchester United match. Today's episode is just previewing that match against Sunderland. Listen, I know there's a lot of news that went on this week, especially with today. Especially when you're hearing the reports of Bruno, players backing the manager, talks of if Ruben's leaving, and there's talks of the managers. Listen, a couple of weeks ago, it broke that Sir Jim and the board was backing Amram and looking at giving a full season, and that's what we mostly got today, a repeat of the board backing him. And come on, let's. I'm Amram and I'm here for him. You shouldn't say I'm here to support him. Like the manager, I'll back the manager. We know what's going on. Like in everything, the press, the news. I love when it's that downtime. Like I know United aren't playing much, but we're at that point where we just lost last week to Brentford. And here we are, Saturday to Saturday, just talk after talk of Amram out, this manager here, this manager there, this, and this. All right, now we're going to have an interview with the players. The players are here, and here. And Amram even calling out his players. Amram's going to those players that you see, the leadership group. Like not all of them, but the ones that have been here prior. The ones that were here before, even Ten Hag. Bruno, Delot, Maguire, Shaw. They've been here. They've been here. So are they going to be the next four players that are going to be part of a new bomb squad and go forward? But he talked about the mentality. He's talked about what's going on. He's talked about the players. And we know it's the players. But again, it's that type of week going to a game where, again, the captain, Bruno, made his comments about how he's not liking the deeper role. And then you're hearing everyone talk about, Bruno staying and this and that. Listen, at the end of the day, let's remember this. Bruno knew, I think, what was happening. He knew he was going to be in a deeper role. He knew new players were going to come in. What Amram wants was those types of players because he needs them for his type of system, for the type of play. Bruno isn't what he needs, plus the discipline and everything as well. And that discipline doesn't exist when he plays in a deeper role. So we have that. But Bruno knew about this. It's not like he wasn't instructed on this. Here we are, we're hearing the players, some of the players complain. And this is where we break. This is where the United ownership, the board, this is where Ineos goes, not this time. This is where they break the trend that has been going on, where players comments the system, backing, showing frustration. This is where you break it and you say, no, not this time. We're not backing down to this. This is not how it's going to work. We're going to stick with it this way, and you're either going to stick with it or not. Nothing's changed. We're not moving other players around because you want. The player power stops here. We have to work at it. So, yeah. But I didn't want to focus on that. I wanted to be a little positive tonight. Because you know what? I want to win on Saturday. And yes, the Sunderland win is a big win this weekend. It is. Every week, and I say that too, every week is an important game. Every week is a necessary win. And we're going into a tough game. We are. Don't be going like. Don't get me wrong. Last week I was going for hopefully the win. I say that every week. No matter who our opponent is and how high they are on the table, whether below us on the table, with us at the table, like at sharing at the same around the same area, it's I'm always gonna say, this is like I'm always gonna go for the win. But right now, we're facing a team that is fifth in the league, 4 points ahead of us. Yes, I know we're in that bottom half, but we are only 4 points away. Is this a winnable game? Theoretically, yes. Theoretically, Manchester United, theoretically, the way we have played certain games, theoretically, yeah, and theoretically, no. This is what in the world of sports you would call a trap game. And yes, we had Brentford last week, and that was a trap game. But here we are again with that type of win and the mentality and everything going on this week. It's you question whether they're going to be there this week. What team will Amram form? Again, I'm never remember all this, ladies and gentlemen. We're not in the locker room. We're not at Carrington. We don't see what's going on. We can only speculate. Listen, we can't. We don't know who Amram's going to choose. I'm gonna give my prediction or who I would like to see. Is it going to be right? Probably not. Fans are all going to give them all that stuff. Are they going to be right? No. You're seeing the old 4-3-3 formations coming out. People are like, that's the way it should be. We have. We all want our players. We all want this. Like I'm like, I will give you the lineup that I chose, that I predicted. But before I get to that, we have to talk about this game. Sunderland has started off good this season. Now the importance compared to what United have, yes. Like if like in nothing against, and I'm not taking anything away against Sunderland. They're in a better spot than we are. They have won games. Like they're playing better football than us. It's the truth. Like I'm sure one of our fans out there, or some fans are probably just me. Like, well, it's Sunderland. They're in the championship before, and listen, it's like they're still better. They're higher than us in the table. They've started off better. Their wins have come against Brentford. They beat West Ham and they beat Nottingham Forest. So yeah, but their loss came from they lost to Burnley, who we beat, and they drew against Crystal Palace, who Crystal Palace is playing well, and they drew against Aston Villa. Now, again, just because they lost to Burnley and they beat Brentford doesn't mean that we're going to draw or win or lose or whatever. It's what they did previously to one team that we lost to. Again, they lost to Burnley. We beat Burnley. They beat Brentford. Brentford kicked our butts. So, but yes, Sunderland is the type of game where it's going to be difficult. It is, and let me just take a look here. Well, no, we're at home. That's an advantage for us. But the way the season's going, yes, going into this game is a concern. I mentioned last week the three things I want to always see from United are consistency, discipline, and finish. We got 2.5 of those last week. We got a Seshko finish with his first goal. We couldn't get a finish with a penalty. We just couldn't do it. Like again, last week we couldn't get anything. We couldn't get any of those factors going. And with Sunderland, listen, they're definitely going to be a tough challenge. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it's going to be a fight. Why? Because United, right now, again, if they're not getting things together, and it's a little bit on the manager, it's definitely on the players, and we can sit here and criticize till the cows come home, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. But what United need to do is they have to, again, focus on the discipline. The ball movement, the passes have to be there. None of this long ball stuff when you're moving it. And whoever is playing in the mid, whether it's Kobe, Bruno, Ugarte, Casemiro, whether it's one of our wingbacks trying to carry through the middle, or even Sesko carrying it through, football, like the IQ, like the discipline has to be there when you're even moving the ball and the passes. If one of our mids are moving it up, carry it up. But look at the pass. Look at the movement of where you're going. Like, there have been games this season that I was watching. And, like, this is, like I said, consistency. One thing that we're not consistent with is putting back-to-back games together, back-to-back performances, proper passes, proper movement. We're never consistent with that. Discipline, we're basically everywhere. We have players that do lack discipline, one of them being our captain. We do have, discipline when players are trying to be selfish and make their play, make certain shots, instead of making the proper touch, move the ball, the vision. We have that issue. And yeah, like we have that there. Consistency on D, tracking back, losing the ball. Like we have that issue with some players. But again, finish has been the big key because, again, you can talk extra goal stats, whatever. But chances created, finishing, getting the ball at the keeper, getting it in the back of the net, struggle with that as well. Arsenal, struggle. Fulham, struggle. Burnley massively struggled. We should have had a bunch of goals against Burnley. Couldn't finish. Man City had opportunities, couldn't finish. Discipline was an issue in that game too. Grimsby, discipline with a capital D, couldn't do anything. Chelsea, couldn't finish. Definitely had some discipline issues in that game. But consistency, we win. We can't do any consistency against, going to Burnley, we win. Can't do anything in our next win. Can't be consistent in that game. Had issues. We win against Chelsea. Can't do anything against Brentford. Struggled. And now we're here at Sunderland. Basically, if you look at it, it's an open book. You don't know what's expected when you look at this. But a trend analysis is when you look at the trends, this can either be the game where it finally just pops and everything works, or we're at Fulham where we struggle. Like that's it. Like, you can have the playing status of Arsenal, but you end up not getting anything in error, which causes us a goal. But the pressure is on the players this week. It is on our manager. It always will be. We're Manchester United, a phrase that I have expressed about and all that stuff. But like, Ruben has some pressure this week. Like, let's not be fair. The whole squad has pressure this week. Let's not pretend that it's an illusion. It's not. With everything that came out with the media this week, going into this, there's going to be pressure. But we have the attacking three that we want. And you'll see some good things there. The wingbacks will be there. But the thing is, again, like I was going back to the middle, like whoever's in the middle has to be disciplined, has to move the ball. If they give you, and I saw this against Chelsea, and I saw this again in a lot of games, it didn't matter what position it was. I saw it with our wingbacks. I saw it with our midfield. sometimes a defensive player, but the vision and the movement is there. If you're able to see the player move, communicate with, and give the touch to, it's, we could be scoring more goals. We could be. But it's about carrying the ball. It's about moving the ball. The reason why I was okay with Bruno being in that position, the deeper role, is because of him carrying the ball. He can carry the ball. He can move up, especially when he has open space. He can move it and have the legs to move it up there and be able to do it. But when he gets the opportunity to see wide open space and Ahmad on the right, he's going to go for the long ball. I don't want that. And I'm not trying to say this is my final days of backing Bruno. It's just Bruno's discipline is an issue. And it's not just him. Like, a lot of players on that pitch have issues with discipline and being consistent. But Bruno, the long balls, the movement there, seeing the availability, the vision, he has struggled a little bit. Yes, the penalties too, yeah, there's definitely issues there. But for me, when he was moved to that deeper role, yes, I thought he would have been a little bit fine with it. And I thought with him, with the transition from the back to the attack, it could have flowed right through him. But obviously, there's been some struggles. Bruno knew what position he was going to be in. We all did. Kobe Mainoo, is it his time to come out and overtake him in that position? I think we have to see him start. In my opinion, we have to see him start. All right, so I'm going to give you my lineup for this weekend. And listen, chances are, and I'm going to give you another lineup too, but this is the lineup that I'm going to go with, that I did with my prediction pool. Why? Because I believe this is our best lineup to look at it. And this is who I'm going with. Lemens gets his start this weekend. He should be. He should be ready to go this weekend. And I think it's the right time. I thought last week with Brentford was the right time. Again, I don't know what goes on there. And I know with the reports there of Ruben trying to take care of him and make sure he's catched up and getting himself in, I think this weekend is the right time. Euro has to be back in the lineup. So I have him starting the lit. That's his spot until he loses it. Luke Shaw, last couple games, has been awful. Has not played well. Aiden Heaven is starting this week. He gets his first start of the season this week. He will be in there. We did have him start against Grimsby. I'm sure we have Aiden Heaven here for his Premier League start of the season. We want him here for this. I want him there for that. My wingbacks, Ahmad is back from his leave. Have him start at right wingback. Ugarte gets the start. Kobe Mainoo gets his first start of the season. Patrick Dorgu on the wing. I wonder what people are thinking about now. Who's my attack going to be? I think I might have kind of gave it away as a hint about a couple minutes ago now that I think about it. But yeah, Cunha, Mbeumo, and Sesko. That's the attack. Yes, I am benching Shaw and Bruno in this game. And I'm benching Bayender. Those are the three right there that I'm benching. Why? Because, like I said, and Delo is also one of them that I also will not be starting. He just came back. I know he came back last week. He started. But now that Ahmad is back, he should be at that right wing back. So, again, like Maguire should be coming off the bench. Same with Bruno, Shaw, and Delo if needed. I would love to see Xerxes get some minutes, especially on the attack, whether it's with Cunha, Buemo, or him as the 9, or him playing with Sesko. Like, I want to see Xerxes. Xerxes needs to get minutes. He has been lacking minutes. But when I look at this lineup, I think this is the best opportunity. And I'm not going to be saying this is the opportunity to say Ruben or anything, because, again, I know that the board is going to back him and he's going to get the remainder of the season. But this is the right opportunity to get some of the young players in, get some of those players that know where to be and where to play. Lemens has to get his start. He has to start getting some minutes in to get familiar with the Prem. Ugarte, like I think he should probably start because he'll probably pair well with Mainu. Dorgu again has been played well. I would like to see Diego Leon get some minutes. Might be a game where, because we're going to the break, you're going to see some more youth probably in this game. I would like that. I would like to see Diego Leon get in there, Fredrickson, Aiden Heaven having him the start. Like, there are players there that should get their minutes in. Again, like I mentioned, Xerxes needs to get his minutes in. But I think with this game, and the question is too is, I'm sure people are wondering who's going to be the captain then. If we're dropping our captain, and again, Maz is still out. He won't be back until after the international break, I believe. Licha is still out. If Shaw, Bruno, Delo, Casemiro. You only say that you can bring in Casemiro is because Casemiro would be the captain of the game. So like Casemiro could potentially start over Ugarte. But to me, like for the one match, give it to Mateus de Ligt. Give it to a kid who has captained. And like give it to a guy who we know we all support. So again, yeah, who would be? He would be, in my opinion, out of everyone there, he would be in there. And when you bring on the subs, like for example, Bruno, Mason Mount. Yeah, Mount doesn't have any minutes. To say the least. Yeah, because Mount needs to get minutes too. So when you have this type of formation, your subs are a little bit better too. But you have Mount, you have Bruno, you have Maguire, you have Xerxes, Shaw, you can bring in Diego Leon, Fredrickson. You have a lot of players there, but for me, it's about movement. Euro can carry the ball. De Ligt can carry the ball. Heaven can move with the ball. Dorgu, Ahmad, Ugarte. Ugarte not so much moving the ball. That's one of his weaknesses, maintaining control. But Kobe Mainu, this is the game where he needs to step in and be like, I got this. I have to move the ball. I have to be smart with the ball. I have to track back. I have to be able to be disciplined and support. I have to show that I can be the replacement that everyone needs for Bruno Fernandes. So I think having Mainu back having Mainu start, would be key. It would be. It would be key to have that here, not having that start. So let me know what you think as well. But realistically, I would love for this lineup to happen. At the end of the day, like I've always mentioned in every episode, I'm not there every week. I'm not there every day. Carrington, I can't see what's going on all the time. But with the youth that we have, for how far we are into the season, I think it's time to, I'm not saying change the formation, no. But I think it's time to start trusting those that we need to. January is far away. We're not doing anything now in terms of purchasing or buying new players. We have to wait to that. We have the squad now. But I think this squad here was something that I would like to see. And I'm sure a lot of people would like to see that too. I know a lot of people are pushing for Lemens, Kobe to start, getting Euro back in Heaven. That would be great to see. It would be. And Sunderland is that type of game. Boom. You're there. Go 2 weeks off, international break, come back. We have the Liverpool match. And that's an important match. If you can get Semi Lemens minutes and then over the break, if he's not going away on any international duty, have him training. Same with Euro, same with the De Ligt. Hopefully nobody from the squad is going on international duty. I know I could wish that, but we know that Bruno and Delo are going to go on international duty. We know De Ligt may go on international duty. We know Dorgu will be there. Ugarte will be on international duty. And Buemo, will be there on international duty. We know Šeško will be there too because of World Cup qualifications. So some teams will be there for international duty, but those that aren't going, get minutes out on the bench. Be at Carrington, rest, get healed up, but be there to help prepare. And when we get back for that Liverpool match, we'll have, I believe, Mazraoui back, where you can bring him off the bench. You'll have youth, and hopefully Licha, who should be coming back in, I think it's another month and a bit. So we'll have him back too. So now the depth is going to, again, I talked about the depth before. The depth is going to be even better when you have Licha returning in mass. Now you're going to have a real battle for the back three. And the question is, do you just automatically give it to Licha, or do you say to Licha, you try to take it from someone, you try to earn it back? But I think with Licha and his consistency with injuries, sometimes he can be a little reckless with certain defensive capabilities. If you've seen a few of his matches, the 2 foot to jump on the ball, which has happened a couple times, but having that depth there. But that's for another episode to talk about. But for this, what I would like to see from begin to end, Lemen's movement of the ball, shot stopping, playing and fighting in that middle on corners. Yoro, just control. We know he can track back. We know he's great one-on-one. Just make sure, just keep an eye out on those additional spots where personnel are of the opposing team. Delit. And then the one thing too with this, we have to be careful of that last man, the long balls being traced in. So I think having Yoro, Delit there, Heaven as well. Heaven's young. He needs to get minutes. He's very talented, especially great in one-on-ones. But I know with youth, sometimes it's just about development, and we know what he's capable of. We know he can move the ball up too. Ahmad, I know I mentioned discipline. This is where he has to fall in huge with discipline. The passing, the selfishness, the trying to be fancy with shots, that has to stop. I'm not talking about like this, like when I mean passing, I mean he actually has to pass and see the reads. Discipline is making sure that he's not taking those hero shots, that he's making the correct reads. 3, because I just said 1 and 2. 2 is, I get that you want to be there, you want to be the hero, make the great pass, like the shots, but the finish has to be there. The movement, like again, I'm kind of just repeating the 3 things I want from Ahmad, but like, yeah, he has to be consistent, tracking back. He has to be aware of what's going on around him, the passing. Don't try to be selfish and take the ball. And then lastly, when you get those opportunities and you have the right read, finish the shots, get it through. It's a big game for Ahmad too. He did play for Sunderland as well, but there's a lot to see with there. Ugarte, we know what he can be defensively, but it's just maintaining control of the ball. That has to be huge. It does. Manu, like I mentioned earlier, he has to be like, he's got this, the control, the movement, the passing. We have to see that there. Dorgu, listen, we know Dorgu can track back, the crosses, the passes. He has improved. Let's not take that away from him. He has improved drastically since joining us in January. He's only been with us since this January. Remember that. But the development will be there. He is getting better. The crossing is there. The movement is there. Like a lot of things. And when he's paired up with guys like Cunha, Mount, you see the communication and the awareness and the discipline there as well. So hopefully for him, you'll see that continue too. And I would like to see that continue incredibly as well. Listen, Cunha, I hope he gets his first goal this weekend. I really do. I hope he gets his first goal this weekend. That guy has passion, but everyone has to communicate, and so is he, and everyone's got to flow through. But the finish, the movement, he's been wonderful. I'm really hoping for a goal this weekend. Šeško, hopefully to carry on from last weekend, get another goal. Work with your 210s and movement of the ball. And Buemo, listen, we know how well he's done. He's got, I think there's a multiple tie for most goals on the team. I know he's one of them, but he has to get a goal. So we have to get him moving, get the passing going, the movement. Him and Ahmad need to communicate as well. And one thing with Cunha too, him and Dorgu. But the one thing I'd like to see is more service to Sesko. And that's the big thing about who's playing in the middle. When you're seeing that move, or whoever's carrying the ball up in that transition, you have to be aware of where everyone is. And don't try to do a long pass to the wide or whatever. If you get the opportunity in their space, you move it up to the point where it's going to help your striker get behind and get the movement on the ball. So that's what I would like to see. So, but yeah. Listen, I'm always going to go for United to win. That's what's crucial. That's what I want. But what the one thing I want from all of this is consistency, discipline, and finish. I would like all those 3 stages to be there. Now, I know I mentioned earlier with it, like it's my squad lineup is not going to be the same. Again, as always, I'm not there. Chances are we'll probably see Bruno start instead of Mainu. We may see Casemiro on. Again, Casemiro may be on instead of Ugarte. In sense of if Bruno is benched, Casemiro has to be on there as potential to the leader. But I would love to see Mateus still get the band. But yeah, if Bruno is benched, I'm sure that Casemiro is going to be there, but I would like Ugarte to pair with Mainu. But for a veteran presence, you're probably going to see Casemiro there, but I still want my pairing of Ugarte and Mainu together. Shaw, hard to say. You may put him in, but I think the keeper situation has to remain the same. You have to keep it as Lamens. Bayender should sit back. For the way he's played, for some of his shots this year, has to just step back. And, like I said with Shaw, I think Shaw, the way he's played the last couple of weeks, he has to sit there too. Give it to Aiden Heaven. You can bring on Maguire potentially, but I think even Maguire the last couple of weeks, the way the goals and some of the long balls have been, I think Aiden Heaven has to get those minutes this weekend as well. And again, it's the type of weekend that you want to see these types of players. The one thing too is the mentality, the movement, the trust. That helps it as well. The one thing too is players cannot get sucked in. They have to play our way. They have to be smart. They cannot be, because again, they're facing a good Sunderland squad. Yes, you can talk about how we played Arsenal, Chelsea, and Man City in the first couple of games, and you see who they've played. You're right. We may have faced tougher opponents, but again, for the games that they have played and taken advantage of, again, they've beat Nottingham Forest, they beat West Ham, and they've beaten, who's the other one? Forest, West Ham, and why does it always take me back to? It takes me back to last season every time I click on it. Where was I? So yeah, West Ham, Sunderland. West Ham, Brentford, and Nottingham Forest. Those are their 3 wins. We haven't played West Ham yet, but again, we struggle against Brentford and a team that they beat. They played very well in a draw against Crystal Palace, who's been playing well this season, and beating a European squad of Nottingham Forest. And again, Crystal Palace is in Europe as well. But they have won. You can talk about if they've lost to Burnley, sure, whatever. But we had our moments where we struggled against Burnley. Sunderland will have ways of taking advantage of us. If they're able to control the middle, if they're able to do the long ball, which a lot of opponents have done against us and found ways to score, we will see that. But discipline against a team that is higher than us in the table is very key. So that's the one thing as well. So, I can go on for hours, but I can't. I do have other things to do. But I'm going to leave the episode there. Again, with my lineup again, Lamens, Euro, Delit, Heaven, Ahmad, Ugarte, Kobe Mainu, Dorgu, Sesko, Cunha, and Mbuemo as your starting one. It may be different what we expect, but you may see one where Bruno and Casemiro are starting in the middle. Luke Shaw may be starting out on the left back. We may see Delo start too. But I think, again, I'm not going to be upset if my lineup wasn't chosen. Again, he is the manager. This is just a speculation that I would like to see. But again, we know he'll do what's best for what he thinks going into this matchup. So, but yes. Again, as always, like, subscribe, follow on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, and don't forget to follow on social media: Instagram, TikTok, and X as well. I will be back Saturday after the match to do the preview, to do the recap as always. So I will talk to you guys on Saturday. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy the match on Saturday. Let's hope we get a W. But again, enjoy. The main thing is enjoy the match. But I will talk to you guys Saturday after it with a new episode. This is the Red Devils Corner Kick Podcast. Glory, glory, Man United.